everyone, how are you doing? I'm doing well actually. I had a little bit of illness yesterday. I think it was just like a 24-hour thing, but I was incredibly tired and I did feel a bit sick, so I kind of slept a lot of yesterday. But today I feel much better. And in fact this week I swam 40 lengths this week, which is amazing for me. To think a few months ago I couldn't even swim a width across the pool, and now I can do 40 backwards and forwards. So that's really cool. I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And Elaine, of course, my buddy next door, she did it as well, so you know, all power to us. Also this week I had Fairy Glade 82 come and visit me. Davina, who is an absolute sweetheart. We were going to spend the evening stitching, but we just didn't stop talking. It was wonderful and I had a fabulous time. She bought cookies and we had cookies and tea. It was really, really special. And she made this for me. Look at this. It's got a crystal on the end. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've got to try and put it in the window. I've got to find something I can hang it from, because it's the crystal. I'm probably going to get some rainbows from that, and I love my rainbows. So thank you so much, Davina. And hopefully we're going to meet up again soon and have a terrific time. So since I last saw you, I've been doing some more stitching on Witches of Salem, and I've managed to get some of the title bit in, so I can fit it. I mean, barely. I've got that tiny bit there, that much. But I squeezed it in and there we are, so I know I can get that in there now. So that's wonderful. So we're getting somewhere. I did the start of the house. I've done one star and there's going to be another star there. I've got Gallows Hill, and I think it's going to be in memory here. And that's going to be Witches of, and then there's Salem. And then all I've got to do is finish the tree after I've done this bit here, and it should be finished. So yeah, I haven't started any Christmas ones yet because I just wanted to finish, you know, my whips. They're just hanging around my neck like a great weight. I need to finish them. So I think, yeah, I'm going to concentrate on these. But you never know. I mean, you never know. Next week I could kind of show you that I've got a Christmas thing started. But yeah, this is my plan to finish this. Okay, so last week I asked you, do you want me to show you another craft this week? And if so, which one would you like me to show you? And overwhelming votes were for this little fella, felted animals. So I'm going to show you how to make a felted animal, and I'm going to try and finish this little rascal while we're at it. And this little rascal is going to be for Christopher for Christmas. I know he's a grown man, but he will appreciate this, and I'll probably knit a little red scarf or something, because I could just imagine Chris in a red scarf. And he's going to be a little Christmas mouse for Chris. And he knows I make all sorts of tit and tat, so he's used to getting bits like that from me. Right, so I'm going to put the camera down, and then I'm going to show you all the bits and bobs I have got for felt making animals. So, are you ready? Here we go. We're going to go down. We are going to go down. Let's see. Can you see what I have got here? So in this box here, this is where I keep most of my felting stuff. So it's just a ordinary box. It's too small for what I've got, but I need to get a bigger one. In here I have pliers. Need those, and they are for the wire. Now I've got lots of wire lengths here, and these are what I use to make the arms and the legs. So if I poke that through in there, you will see, and you can bend it. That is roughly how you make arms and legs, and you can trim it with these. Now this wire you can get from art shops. Is it about the same? You can get the wire from art shops, or even Amazon or eBay. You know, wherever you get craft supplies, you can find wire. Now this wire here is really for floristry, and it's to sort of tie up your bouquets. And I like this one because it's coated, and it's a lot thicker, and it stays where you put it. But you can also get a thinner one here, and it's okay, but it's a bit feeble, so what I have to do is bend it over a couple of times to make it stronger, so it kind of defeats the object really. So I would recommend like this floristry wire, which is lovely and thick and stable. You can also get wire on reels, and different coloured wire. This is really not very good for, not very good at all for felting animals. But it might do if they're holding something in their hands. You can tie it around their little paws and things, depending on what colour you need. And I've got it in all sorts of colours here. Okay, now for the actual felting itself, you could buy one of these. Now in here it's got lots of felting needles, and when you press it down onto something like this, which is a polystyrene base, the needles, if you can hear it, go straight through, and this bit goes back, revealing the needles. There's a few broken there, I need to put some more in. And you can take the lid off here, and you take that little coin bit out there, and that's where you put the needles in there. Let's see if I can get one out for you. I want to come out. There we go. Oops. So there's the needle. Now these are super sharp, these felting needles, and I've stabbed myself with these so many times. It's unbelievable, and it's very painful. But if you look really closely, whoops, if I can get it in there, can't seem to get. There are like little grooves in the needle. I don't know if you can see the little grooves. Can you see them? There we go. Now that's what grabs the wool and pushes it through and pulls it back. Because if you feel along the needle that way, it's rough, and that way is smooth. So it's all to do with your felting wool, which you can buy in little balls in lots of different colours. I'll show you those in a minute. You can buy those from any craft shop. You can get them from Hobbycraft. and they're called felt roving, or just needle felting supplies. You'll find them, and basically what happens with this is as you stab it with the felting needle, it starts to come together. Can you see? It's turning into a piece of felt. Okay, so I won't do it too much because I'll probably want to use that for something else. But I will show you as we go along. Anyway, yeah, so you can get a multi one like this with lots of needles, and it's supposed to make quick work of your felting because you've got several on the go at the same time. And here's my little fella, and I could do him like that and he would just start to felt together. Right, so now I've shown you the basic tools that you need. Let me show you how to make an animal. Right, in the bottom of here I've got lots of felt balls, felt eggs. Not felt, sorry, polystyrene, different sizes. These ones I got from The Works, which is like a discount book and craft store in the UK, but you can get polystyrene from anywhere pretty much. eBay, Amazon, craft stores, Hobbycraft, and discount stores. So for the mouse I chose an egg for his tummy and a smaller egg for his head. Can you see how that would work? It's like that. Okay, I'll pop that on there now. Okay, so I got some wire and I poked it through, as you can see there in its little legs. Poked it through the bottom and you just push it through till it comes out the other side. Don't worry about that, that's fine. And then you have sort of like an egg on a wire, and then you can start to kind of form his legs. So you can see he's got like little crooked legs and feet. So you'd have to kind of bend it to give him a thigh and a foot. And what you can do with the foot is you can bend it to give him a bit more of a foot. Can you see that? If I put it against the white, the bent leg there. So this one I may have to adjust because that leg is longer, so I'm going to use my pliers, cut that bit off, make his foot a bit more. Can you see? His little feet. Then we want his arms. You can do them now or you can do them later, it doesn't matter when. So actually I might cut that in half a bit. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to put his arms about there. So let's put his arms in. It's a little bit of force. There we go. Actually, I might make it come up a bit more. No, it wants to go there, that's fine. Put his arms forward. And so he's got little hands. I'm going to just bend the ends in there. Little paws or whatever it is you're making. So there we are. We've got little egg tummy with 2 hands and 2 legs. There we go. So we need to get his head on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that bit that I've just cut, actually, and I'm going to poke it in there. Which is easier said than done. I want it to come out the back a bit more. No, it's going to come there, so that's going to have to do, and I'll put the tail in. What you can do is if you make it a bit longer, you can kind of push it out and push it out there to make the tail. But I'm just going to do a little one for now. So I'm going to cut that length, there we are, and then on top of there I'm going to put his head, but it might be too long actually. Let's cut a bit more. Let's put his head on, there we are, body and head. So as you can see, he's coming together. Okay. So now the fun bit. I might cut that bit off actually there. He's poking up. There we are. So in this bag I have got all different colours of wool. So I don't think I'm going to do him red, but I might do a scarf out of that. So what colour shall we do for our little Christmas mouse? So I think I'm going to do this grey, a bit of that grey, a little bit of pink for his ears. What do you think? I might do that. I've also got some lovely felt sheets which I can make a scarf out of, or knit one, but I could make a scarf out of this and then just cut a strip along there and then just fringe the end with scissors and then wrap it round his neck. But we'll do that later. Okay, so here is, let's go back down there. Right, here is our mousy grey wool, and this is how it comes, just like this, in each bag. These ones I got from Hobbycraft, and they came in little tiny bags like this. There we are, and it's called Natural Wool Roving. Okay, and that's a green one. They're very inexpensive. For a couple of pounds you can get one of these, and you basically in just about every colour you can think of. But as I said, you can get them just about anywhere. So basically you pull it apart like this. Very simple, it's very soft, it's gorgeous, and I'm going to do with it with one felting needle just to get it started. Now these ones I bought from Wish, and they were something like 90p for all of those. You can get them from craft stores, Hobbycraft, Amazon, eBay, for a couple of pounds. But I was quite happy to wait for mine and pay 90p. You get, some are thicker than others. I quite like the thicker ones because they're stronger, because they're quite easy to break. but I think that's an assorted set. So this one's quite thick. Let me see, quite thick. So I'm going to get my, hope you can see okay, put that down there. I'm going to get my wool, and I think my weakest area at the moment is that neck part. So I'm going to try and join the head on with the wool. Now this is not a 5-minute process, this is going to take some time. So if you're the type of crafter that is full of patience, this is for you. But if you're not, you're going to get bored. Just add it quickly and slowly. But to start it off, it's probably a good idea just to do it slowly. I mean, you can put it anyway. Look, I've given him a little comb over. Look. Put a little comb over on him. Cover up his bald patch. You could do it without the polystyrene onto maybe cotton wool or something, but it wouldn't be as what's the word? It wouldn't be as stiff. It'll be a bit floppy. You could do it just with the wool roving, but you're going to use an awful lot of it, a lot of the wool, and it's going to take you ages to get to this size. You can buy kits. I've got a couple of kits where you get all the wool in it and you get everything you need. You get a polystyrene sheet, or it does come in, not polystyrene, like polyester or something, some kind of man-made fabric. They're not as good because they break up real quick. These are the best, and you can get these in packing anyway. I've found loads in packing boxes, and I'll save it. It's a lot cheaper than buying it, unless you got it in a kit, then that's okay. Right, getting somewhere. I know it doesn't look like we're getting anywhere, but we are. Sorry if you can't see this, I'm not really paying enough attention. It's very squeaky at the moment. And what it's doing, it's knitting all that wool together. This is one of those things where you say bear with constantly. You're going to be doing this for days and days, but it's one of those things that it's a project, isn't it? It's not an overnight thing, and if you're a cross stitcher, then you know things don't appear overnight unless they're really small. So we're getting there with him. We're getting somewhere. Let's put a bit more. I mean, you could put a lot more on, I suppose, but I like to do it gradually. Build it up gradually. And then it's more even, I think. And you don't have to use a lot of the wool if you're careful. So we've just started. This that we've got, that is 1 pack of wool. So I think you're going to need at least a pack of whatever colours you're going to use. So for this little grey mouse, we are going to use 1 pack of grey, maybe 1/4 of a pack of pink. We're going to use a pinch of cream in his eye, maybe his toes, his paws, and black as well. A bit of black, tiny bit of black for inside his eye. You can get push-in eyes, and I've got some of those, but I find they don't really stay in. Well, they do stay in unless you play with it, and these are not really for playing with, to be honest. Yeah, don't give these to a child or a baby because they've got wiring and they'll have their eye out. These are really grown-ups' toys or ornaments. I had a friend who made a little a witch's mouse, and he had a little witch's hat on and a little shoulder bag with a crystal, and he was gorgeous. So I might make this one into a little witch's mouse. I think that would be wonderful. A little familiar. Oh, just stabbed myself. That was painful. Right, I'm going to try and fold that in there. Try and get a neck going. So the head is kind of tied on. But as with any craft, it's all patience, isn't it? It takes a while to do anything worthwhile, my mum always used to say. Bless her soul, who's now in heaven. But nearly everyone I know is in heaven now. My grandma's gone, my granddad's gone. It's very sad. I'm just about the only one left. It's really weird, isn't it? Because like when you're a kid, you feel like you've got such a big family all around you. Then all of a sudden it's just you. Everyone else has died. I never know what to do myself. I haven't got anyone to go and ask for advice or, you know, it's horrible. But I do have my crafts and they make me happy. In his head like mad. See, we're getting ahead now. We are getting ahead. You see how easy it is? It's easy to do, but it is time consuming. So if you don't have time, we have a little bit of time. You could kind of do it in the evening. Probably not while you're watching TV because you might stab yourself. But you could do it in the evening, do a little bit each night, maybe, or over the Christmas holidays. I would say it's something to do with the kids, something nice to do with the kids, but because of the needles, I would worry that they would really hurt themselves. I mean, this tool that I showed you a little while ago, this one, this is more of a safety tool. Oh, she says, but then I've still stabbed myself. You've got to really keep an eye on what you're doing all the time. And this does save time. Once you've got quite a bit on there, because it's like 4 or 5 needles going in at once, so you are kind of... But I do find with this that you can't really see what you're doing so well. Let's try and stab some in there. Yeah, I like to go back to the single one. Kind of use them both really. See, with the single one I'm getting right in the nooks and crannies. There we are, his head is now becoming lovely and joined. Let's put that little bit on there. But you constantly got to evaluate what he's looking like, because at the moment his head is kind of gone a bit skew-if. And that's alright if you want him to look kind of cute with his head on the side. But what you might have to do is just go on the other side and just even it out a bit. There we are. Put that on there. Now, if you're not interested in needle felting animals, this is pretty much what I'm going to do today, so I forgive you if you want to go. That's alright. I don't mind. Because I know some of you will just adore this. And you will want to do this because it's so relaxing. See, he's starting to felt up. Can you see how he's felting? He's doing really well. Who are we going to name him? What's his name going to be? Don't know. I think you have to see his eyes first, don't you? But we're a long way off from putting the eyes in, fortunately. Let's put this. So it's felting the wool together. It's stabbing it and twisting it and hooking it up. It's pulling all the strands together. His head's still a little bit wobbly, so I'm going to need to keep felting around that neck and the head to make those joins go together. So let me just sit in there a minute because I've got something else to show you. Okay, put them both there. There they are. You can make little brooches or pendants or whatever you want, funny shapes. I'm going to do an extra little heart, and I might put it on him there, or on there. But for that you're going to need one of these, and this is a tin full of cookie cutters. Can you see? They're beautiful ones. Now where's my hearts? There's my heart there, and I've got all sorts of shapes: triangles, flowers, circles, squares, stars and ovals. This was, I got this from Amazon, and this was like under £3, £2.99. Marvellous. So to do a heart, you put your cookie cutter on here, and I've got a bit of red here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pull it out like that, and I'm going to stuff it in there inside the cookie cutter, and then you get the felting needle and you start to push it into the corners, and I put some more in. Like that. This is really satisfying. Feels fab. Loads of fun. And you just got to keep stabbing until it felts up. And you can look in there and see. I think it might need some more wool. Now be careful as you're stabbing, even if you've got one of these, because it come out on the other side. It's probably a good idea to have a tray underneath, but I didn't think that far ahead, if I'm honest. You put that in there. That might be too much, but we'll see. And the longer you felt it, the better it gets, really. And that's what happens. Look at that. Oh, emergency. Just That's how dangerous those needles are. I'm going to get a bloodied mouse now. Okay, try again. Keep an eye on what, oh! Keep an eye on what you're doing, Jay. Okay, right, so it doesn't look particularly wonderfully felted yet, but now is the time. You can take it out and you can start to shape it. So I'm doing that bit in there. I'll shape it on here. So you can pull those bits in. Excuse the blood everywhere. Pull those bits in and keep going. Trying to watch my fingers. Can you see it's starting to form? There, look, a little heart is starting to come together. Just do a bit more to it. So you just do it until you're happy with it, really. Try not to stab myself. This is scary stuff, folks. But it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. You just keep going until it will do. Let's try and get it in there. It just takes a while. It takes so long. For video purposes, this could be very boring for you, but there's no other way to show you, really, rather than to do it. I think that's always the best way. If you see it, then you know it. If you read it, not quite so easy. And do both sides. That side. See, we're getting there. It's a little heart. Can you see? Beautiful little heart. We could do a lot more to it. Just to get it a bit tighter. Try not to stab myself. You have to keep turning it over because as you've done one side, it kind of pulls the felt through to the other side. Let's do that little groove in the middle there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. It's a case of constantly reshaping and being patient, looking at what you've done. Check that bit there. I'm covered in blood. one of the hazards of felt making. You see? Here we are, we're getting there. It's a little heart. Look at that. And what I can do is I can put the heart on my little animal. I'm going to put him on there. And I can felt that now into my little mouse. You don't have to do a heart, you could do a little flower or whatever you wanted. Little star. Or you could make some tiny little flowers on little wire stalks. Make a bunch of flowers. Right, it's sort of attached now, as you can see. You can feel it. And the more I push it, the flatter and more attached to the body it will become. And just keep an eye on the shape as you're doing it, so it doesn't kind of go all out of shape and turn into a square. Of course it will do that if you don't keep an eye on it. And this side is coming down a bit lower than I'd like it to, so I'm just going to push it up a bit. Push that side up a little bit. And it's coming along. He's got a cute little heart on his belly. Now let's show you how to get these arms sorted. I think what I might do, I don't know where my pliers have gone. So I might make little paws like this. You can, if you've got the patience, make the individual little fingers. But that takes a little while, and I'm just going to do paws. So there's paws. And then we'll give him some elbows. Okay. And he's kind of got elbows. Okay, and he's got some little paws. They're roughly at the right height. So I need to get some mouse colour. There's some mouse colour here for my little camel coloured mouse, little brown mouse. And I can start by wrapping it round his arm. Like that. And I get my thing and start to attach that to the body already. And that will stop the wire coming out as well, because once you've felted it to the body, the wire's got nowhere to go, it's just stuck in there. I'll try and put him down on the mat and get the inside of his arm felted as best I can. I mean, I could have cut some of the polystyrene off and slipped it on the arm, and that probably will make it a bit fatter a lot quicker, but I'm happy just to... Can you see that how that arm is starting to build out now? He's starting to get a little arm. Okay, so I've got a bit more. going to wrap that round there. It's going to look a bit scruffy to start with, it will do, but as you carry on felting, it will kind of do its thing and knit together. And put it against the pad and start working on the inside of the arm there, the tricky area. Being really careful of my fingers. Try and do the outside there. See, it's building up. So let's do some this way. Under the arm. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm doing under the arm there. It's a little armpit. Once you've got a decent amount on there, you can start to really add bits and take bits away to shape it how you think the arm should look. You can always have a look at mouse anatomy and Google it and see where the arms and legs go. Or you can just make it up, make a little cartoon mouse. Some people make the most amazing realistic animals doing this. I'm not quite that good yet, but I hope to be one day to be able to make some really pretty things. I'm going to try and get the start of that paw done. So I've wrapped the wool around the paw. I'm going to try and knit it together by stabbing it with the felting needle so it will kind of stay on, because that's the first rule, is to actually get the wool to stay on. Don't worry too much about it being shaped right at first, just get it on there first and then shape it later. As his little arm is coming along. Now I want his paws to be a slightly different colour, so I might use a little bit of this cream colour that I got from Hobbycraft. A little tiny bit of that. Let's take that out. Put that back in the bag. So I've got this little cream colour. I thought he might look quite cute with little cream paws. So I'm going to wrap this around his paw. It's going to be a bit tricky to start with, but we might be able to get it on there by knitting it all together and do it on the mat. And lift up that bit there. I could have done little red gloves on him, I didn't think of that. Never mind, that'll be another project. I'll try and knit the paw into the arm. Oops. Can you see how it's, as you're pushing the needle through, you get these little hairy bits, and basically what you've got to do is push it back through the other side. It's taken a while. it will take a while. And I think what I need to do is to do actually the other side of the arm to anchor that. We're getting there. So we've got to anchor that side of the arm to the body, because as you can see, that's pulling that arm forward and it might distort his little arm. Let's just try and make sure that's on. Right. So let's put some, oh, not that much, too much. Let's try and anchor that on. This is quite a good way of doing it, just doing a little bit at a time. I'm so wary I'm going to stab myself again. I've stabbed myself so many times with this. Oh, she's done it again. You can get little leather things to go on your fingers, and I do have them. I don't know if they're in the bag. They could be in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to find them, guys. I haven't put any in there. But basically they're like little leather gloves for the tips of your finger, and they're supposed to protect you from the needle, and I should wear them, but I find them incredibly difficult to work in. I need to be able to feel the wool, if you know what I mean. Right. Okay, so that is now starting to anchor that arm, and it still needs to be pulled a little bit. Let's put his little hand on that thing. This arm, you've got to be careful that you don't get one arm longer than the other, and the only way to kind of sort that is just to keep evaluating where you've got to with it. And keep trying to anchor it down with the wool on both sides. The same principle with the legs. Kind of getting there. Let's get those ends put in. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at showing you what I'm doing. I will get better at it. Maybe we'll make a different animal at some point. What kind of animal should we make next? Answers below. Let's have a vote. What should we make? Don't even have to be an animal, it could be a little person. You could felt whatever you liked. Maybe we could make brooches. That would be fun. We could make brooches. Felt it brooches. I might make a star one. A Christmas star felted brooch. We could put beads on it and things. Whatever you want, really. A bit more. Here we go, a bit more. He's coming along though, isn't he? Cute. He's so cute. I can't think of a name for him. I think you should name him in the comments. The one with the most votes. The name with the most votes gets it. If I name him, it'd be something stupid like Vince. Not that Vince is a stupid name if it's your name. Covering myself there. But not appropriate for a mouse. Oh, careful, Jay, careful. Careful. Just tuck in all those little loose fibres. And making him. Jeez. Look. I didn't swear though. Bloody hell. I need to have a first aid kit right next to me. Can't be trusted, can I? Oh, jeepers, it's bleeding everywhere. Right, let's try and put a bit of a paw on now. Face down, mouse. Face down. I'm putting the lighter colour on for his paw. Ooh. Let's do some that way. He's looking fab. I'm really liking him, apart from the bloodstains. He's very hairy at the moment. He's got a lot of ends that's got to be tucked in without stabbing myself. You see all these wispy bits? They have got to be tucked in. Unless you're doing a hairy mouse, really, really hairy one. And he could have lots of wispy bits. Oh, watch your fingers. It's a nice feeling putting the needle through because you can feel it grabbing all the fibres. Wire's poking through, definitely needs more. More wool. Right, we need more cream wool on this side now. Just a bit of time. Hey! God! I know I should be wearing those blasted... Oh, look. Can you see that? Where is it? Blood trail. That's not good, huh? That's not good. We're getting there. I don't think this is probably a good idea to do it this way. No, I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Do, 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 do. I'm making a mouse for Christmas. I I'm making a mouse for Christopher, my lovely boy. Did you see his video? He's made a new video, bless him. He does have to work on himself sometimes. He struggles a little bit, but he gets there. He always gets there in the end. I'm so proud of him and all his painting. Have you seen his paintings? Have you seen all the details he puts in them? He's absolutely fabulous. He's the best son in the world. I'm sorry if you guys have got sons, but you know what I mean. To me, he's the best one. And when I was very poorly, he looked after me. Do you remember? He really did look after me. Even sent me half-eaten Toblerones, which was nice. Which was nice. I'll bring you down here again. There we go. Mr. Mouse. I'm still having trouble covering up that wire. It's not enough. It's not enough fur on him. What shall I do? Shall I have a bit more brown on there? Actually, a bit more brown on the shoulders. It needs more anchoring. Oh, such fun. Such fun. I think you're getting the general idea now. I reckon you could actually make one now. You don't really need me to show you anymore. Maybe the ears. I'll show you the ears in a minute. Isn't that a lovely sound? Very satisfying. Do, 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 do. Should be singing Christmas songs. Christmas time, mistletoe and wine. Mice are squeaking all the time. Logs on the fire and something in the trees. Don't know the rest. I think that's a Cliff Richard song. If I knew it all, then that would be embarrassing. I'm not really a Cliff Richard fan. Although I did quite like Devil Woman. She's just a devil woman. Oh Lord. So much effort. So much effort for a mouse. Hope you can appreciate this, Chris. When you put this mouse by your computer, you're going to realise how much pain and suffering I had to go through to make it. That's why these kind of felted animals are very special. Because people have to go through all sorts of injuries while they're doing it. Needs a bit more on that side. But he's getting there. He's cute. Right, so you kind of get the idea, yeah? So I'm going to make a scarf for him. Now bear with, let me take my scissors. My scissors. Look at these Tim Holtz scissors. Tim Holtz, love him. So just get a little bit of felt, like that. You can stretch it out a bit. You can stretch it by pulling it. And then, to make the tassels, just cut them in. you see? You see the tassels? You can kind of twiddle them a bit. There we are. There's the tassels, and you can put that around his neck like that. And you can either put like a little tack in there, or you can fold it over like a real scarf, which I'm going to do for now because I don't want to get my sewing kit out right now. I need to get my sewing kit. What I could do, actually, put it to one side so that we don't cover up the heart. Can you see? It's cute. And I could probably actually, where did I put my felting needle? Here. I could probably actually felt it to the body. She says try not to break the needle. There, look. I've just felted it to him. There we go. Let's tidy up these little paws. Oh, they're still a bit. Looks like it's got elephantitis on his paws. Yeah, well, the paws need some more working on. But he's kind of getting there, isn't he? He's so cute. Right, so I'm going to show you quickly now with this little guy here, our demonstration model, how we're going to make the ears. So he's got grey ears. He gets a grey fluff. And then you kind of put it into an ear shape like that. Can you see? Just fold it over and start felting it on your felt. Twist it over a bit more. And as you pull it off, you can see you have to do the other side. And you see how it's starting to turn into an ear. So what we want is to put a little bit of pink inside his ear. You get a little bit of pink there. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a slightly smaller ear shape and put it on the top there, like that. We're going to felt that on. So obviously, you know, you're going to need to make two of these. And we can pull it out a bit and make sure we've reshaped it. You could do ears in one of these shapes. You could start off with maybe like a little shape like that, depending on what animal you're doing. These are so useful. I love these. Let's put my heart one back in. Yeah, let's carry on with the ear. So depending on how much pink you want in your ear, it will come out to the other side. So what you need to do is kind of cover it with some more of that felt from the bottom. The longer you do it, the more felt-like it becomes. The stiffer it gets. I might put a tiny bit more of that pink in there. Can you see? Sorry. I am terrible. You're terrible, Muriel. Do you remember that film? I'm Muriel. I'm terrible. See? Okay, now imagine that that is really lovely and felted. You might have to go on it for a bit longer. But we're going to imagine that that's done. Okay, and then what you need to do is kind of stick it onto your mouse in a good area where you think a mouse might have an ear. So you've got the bottom of the ear there, and that's the bit you're going to felt to the head. Make sure you've got your pink bit on the inside. So I'm going to put his ear on there, and I'm just felting it onto the head with the felting needle. And in reality, I need to put a lot more wool on him, but I'm just doing this to show you how to get his ear on. Can you see? Looks more like a rabbit at the moment. Could be a rabbit. I think if it goes that way, it's more of a mouse. So let's try and felt it from both sides. Now be careful, it's very tricky. So I'm felting it from the inside and from that side as well. Now it can end up getting a bit short if you're not too careful. You get carried away. But can you see how that is? That's stuck now. That is not going to come off. That is right in there. There we go. That's it. Right, so you need two of those. You need another one there. Yeah, it's quite a big ear, that one, isn't it? But you get the general idea. And then for eyes, so I've got a little bit of white here. It's a white, a tiny little bit, like that. Make it into a little ball, and you put it on his side of his head, like a mouse would have an eye there. And it's gonna, as you put the first bits in, it's going to look huge and odd, but you just have to start bringing those bits in from the sides. You could pull those in and it gets smaller. Just anchor it down a little bit. Can you see how it's getting smaller? Put that bit in there. There he is. Look, it's got a little eye there. Now, he needs, what does he need? He needs a little black bit for his pupil. So a little black piece here. So you need a smaller bit for the inside of the eye. I've got a tiny, tiny bit there. So just roll it up into a little ball. Like that. Yeah, a little tiny ball. And pop it on there. Actually, I could do with it being a bit smaller. I might cut it in half. That's much better. So I'm going to put it on the front so he's looking forward. So it looks like it's covering up the white at the moment, but as you work on it and it gets smaller, it starts to look a lot better. Can you see? There we are. Okay, funny little eye. Might put a bit more on actually. Where did I put that other bit? A bit more black. Just so you can see. Gosh, we've been doing this for over an hour. Oh, little eye. And then for the nose, you can get a bit of pink or whatever. Is that pink? No, that's white. A little tiny bit of pink. And tie it into a little ball like that. Stick that on his nose. And it looks, as you put it on, it looks huge and stupid, but you just keep folding it in and it will eventually get smaller and smaller. Let's fold that bit down. Looks like a little heart at the moment. I want to make it into kind of a little triangle really. Sorry, I'm not showing you it because I'm not good at this. I'm not really someone who shows you how to craft very well. I'm not an expert, I'm just me. But basically I'm tucking in, I'm bringing in from the edge and I'm tucking in. Let's give it a bit of a almighty stab. And bring from the edge and tuck in. On the edge, tuck in. Good stuff. Do it that way. On the side, and that way from the side. Okay. Trying very carefully to avoid stabbing myself. Right. So he's got a little bit of a smushed face at the moment. So what I'm going to do is try and shape it. Shape it up. Oh, that's my arm. Sorry. That's his bottom. The mouse's bottom. So you can just carry on and just keep reshaping until you've got what you want. You see? He needs a lot more wool on him. Maybe his nose could have been a bit higher. But this is just for demonstration purposes. Okay. Oh, what's that stuck on him there? So it shouldn't be. So we've got an eye, we've got an ear. What you could do, you could make whiskers out of this if you wanted to. Let's cut some of that off and show you. It's very thin wire. Oh, I don't know if it's going to go through. Yes, it is. Oops. Not too wide. So you can add whiskers. Can you see the little wiry whiskers? They're a bit long. Let's cut those off a little bit. A bit long. Trim your whiskers. So you could put several through there. And you can have them a bit frazzled maybe. Whiskers. Okay, so that's basically it. That is how you make felt animals. There's my two little animals there. And that's the kit, that's what you need. You could do with a pair of pliers actually to do the ends, do them better, but I think they came out quite nice. Look at that. You'd be happy to get that for Christmas, wouldn't you? He's cute. You could have him with a little hymn book singing. Maybe a little Christmas hat or something. Make him as Christmassy as you like. Oh, I didn't show you how to do the tail, did I? It's quite easy. Tails are just like this. You just roll them, you know, like you do with clay. You just roll it like this till it starts to become a sausage shape. And you felt it. And then roll it. And roll it. Felt it. And you keep going. Until you have sort of a tail shape and it's all knitted together. They're coming together quite quickly. You can add more wool to it as you need it. Just knit that bit up there. Together. And when you have the tail that you like this, then you just stick it on his bottom. Once the other fur is on there, you just stick it on the bottom like this. And just work around it. Lift the tail up and do that bit there. And down again, do that side, all the way round, so it's well anchored. Easy, easy peasy. And of course you'd have all that fur on first before you did it. So, there we go. That is, thank you for staying with me for 1.5 hours. That is how you make little felt animals. Okay, so votes down below for different names for this little mouse. And if you'd like me to make an animal or a brooch next time, let me know and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, happy Christmas everyone. Bye.